What do you think Disfat's doing right now? Painting his toenails?
Dude, I can't believe he sent that picture of him getting his little toesies cleaned up, dude. Have you ever done that?
I haven't. Have you?
No. Thank God you did, because I could have just set you up for failure. I apologize.
What color do you think he chose?
That's a
Bright
great
pink,
question.
Barbie pink.
I bet you he did Miami colors like every other aqua green, orange.
Oh, nice.
You
Yeah,
know he did.
definitely.
And no
Absolutely.
one's gonna see him in his socks. What a loser.
Oh man, glad he's not here.
Me too. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast with your tippers, Matt, Disfatt-Bidge.
These are just our tips, so take them easy, take them hard. It's up to you.
Ryan, the Tagless Haynes,
Most bizarre Haynes brief that there's ever been.
and Matt, Regan.
Yeah, I hear you, and I definitely would take the shot on it because he'd be dumb not to.
Coming to you from the heart of New England. Get ready to take some tips.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, baby, let's do this.
this is aggressive, guys.
First time ever.
Hopefully we don't screw Mac over too much. But alrighty, boys. Welcome back, takers. This is Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast. We're here on November 3rd, Thursday. Eagles are playing right now, playing some mediocre team. It's probably not going well. But we'll talk about
Mediocre. That's a compliment.
that.
That's a
just so true.
compliment.
But as you guys have noticed, it's just me and the Tagless tonight. Our boy Disfatt-Bidge is not going to be here. He just so happens to be, putting his nuts on the shelf tomorrow. He's getting married. He's losing his manhood type of thing. So good luck to him. But no, we're excited. We're excited for him. Obviously, a great gift from you takers to him would be to like, subscribe, hit that bell on this video, catch up on our future episodes. Pay attention. I'm sure you would love that. So thank you guys. And obviously, you can find us on Spotify, Google, Apple, Amazon as well if you don't feel like looking at our faces. So we'll just get into it. Ryan, just a tip-off question it is. Marriage, is it worth it?
Yes, absolutely. Just in case my wife turns on this episode by accident. It's the best thing I've ever done.
Love it. So obviously that was a joke, but guys, take as many digs as we can on Mac. The real question is, Ryan, to you. I have this problem. I'm sure you might too. Dynasty is a tough one this year, and we're already past week 8. If you have a team in Dynasty, say you're 2-6, what are you doing now? Are you trying to keep it going, or are you just, bail out?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, my favorite team that I inherited last year. It's a total rebuild, total dive. I love it. It's so much fun. I am right now just trying to poach those draft picks from the competitors, from the guys at the top of the leaderboard. And I'm trying to do that with some of these like mediocre guys, short-term guys that might put their team over the top. Because I'll tell you what, this is the season that those guys at the top of the standings might just do some crazy shit to try to win the whole thing, honestly. So I'm looking at guys like Miles Sanders, Ezekiel Elliott, Raheem Mostert, Tyler Lockett, James Conner. I think those guys are good players to start kind of dangling in front of some of those top teams to see if they'll grab them for the long run. Because I don't see great long-term value from any of those players. Some of them, I think you might be able to get a first back for. Others, you might have to look at maybe multiple seconds. Probably stay away from thirds, maybe a second and a young player. Mm-hmm. But those are the players that I'm looking to trade.
Yeah, so you're really just trying to take advantage, of the players you have. And if it works out, get something for them. If not, it's, kind of sit back. So I like it, though. Use those guys, try to get a little something more than you normally would be.
Absolutely. And another thing that I would do too, start trying to predict the future a little bit. Like target the Calvin Ridleys of the world. Maybe you can get him super cheap. Target Kareem Hunt, who's probably going to be a running back 1 next year. Target Damian Harris, who's a free agent. Like you might be able to score those guys cheap, multiple thirds, maybe a late second. Like If you can grab those guys for some of this capital that you're probably not even going to flip into anything that's real value, please do that. Just again, dangle that carrot.
That's some great info. Speaking of info, there's always a lot in this segment. Let's get into the Haynes briefs.
Sweet sassy molassie.
All right. So obviously this week was trade deadline week. There were a ton of moves. You probably heard all about them. We got the what the fuck do you call it?
Ticker.
Ticker going at the bottom here. So take a look at it on YouTube. So if you're listening on Spotify, check out the YouTube page, check it out. But Reeks, what was your favorite trade from this week? Which player do you think is going to be the most impactful moving forward?
The most impactful at this point, I'm really liking the Chase Edmonds to Denver. I think they're kind of lackluster, with that running back core now. Obviously, with Williams going out, I feel like he has the most opportunity to get a little something out of that offense. I obviously, the one I hated but loved at the same time was TJ Hockenson, just because I like Kirk Cousins. I like TJ Hockenson. The problem is with that whole thing is I'm pretty sure they only throw to the tight end 18% of the time, which is a very, very low number in an offense. Hopefully that goes up from here. I'm still going to hold on TJ Hockenson. I know a lot of people getting nervous about trying to just trade him, get him off your team now. I kind of want to just see this.
I think it depends on what you get back and what format, but I absolutely agree with you. I think with Hockenson, I don't think they're going to revamp the whole offense in week 9. I really don't. And if they do, if they try to get him incorporated a little bit more, it's probably going to be a few weeks down the road. I don't know, man. Thielen, Jefferson, they're going to command a lot of targets. Dalvin Cook. I think it's great for Hockenson, the NFL player. I think it's an awesome landing spot for him, for that team. It just adds this other star piece. Fantasy-wise, I don't think it's great. I actually just shipped him off in a dynasty league for Dalton Schultz this week. Just thinking Schultz is Dak's dude. He's Dak's dude. He's probably a double-digit machine moving forward now that he's healthy. Hockenson is not a double-digit machine. Wasn't in Detroit. He was very inconsistent. I think that just carries over to Minnesota.
Yeah, I think we all get excited about that tight end position, and the value on those guys just really carry over just because it's hard and it's slim to come by. So I have a league where I have Tyler Higbee, TJ Hockenson. The only thing I could think of is Minnesota, just like I've said, for other trades and stuff like that. Usually teams try to dangle their new piece out there. So maybe they try to get him going this week and just give him a couple red zone catches or targets in general. But going forward, I will sit back a little bit on playing him forward.
It's a good call. Nyheim Hines to the Bills is very intriguing for me.
That throws me off.
Don't know what it does to Singletary. I don't know, but I kind of love it.
Not that I have Singletary everywhere. It was just
Hines.
that. Huh?
Pick up Hines.
Yeah, everyone has him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All
right, man. Well, listen, that's it for the briefs. Like I said, everybody's already heard this shit all week, so let's move on.
All right, guy. Let's get into something that's a little bit. If I can find it now, I know why Mac always has trouble. Let's get into it.
Ah! 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 Ah!
Such a long one. Anyways, guys, as you have noticed, we're in the Hurt Locker. So let's open this bad boy up. Let's get into some good stuff first, Ryan, and then we'll really get into some really crappy stuff. But Davante Adams listed as a full practice participant today. He was limited yesterday, so that's good news for him. DeAndre Swift, this one's kind of like an even or, but he did practice limited today. Ankle and shoulder injury. I believe the shoulder was new from last week, so just keep an eye on that one. But it's good news that he's out there. Jarvis Landry, there's some news in the bad section that I'll let you know about, but he practiced. He's really the only wide receiver of any stature that was practicing today. Cordell Patterson back at practice. Status for Sunday is undetermined. He was very hesitant on saying that he's going to play. So we'll see, but just know that you're getting him back soon, possibly this week. Cooper Kupp, did not practice today, but he was with the team in the morning walkthroughs, which is a great sign. This seems to be an ankle injury that's not as crazy as everyone thought. A little nervous about him this week, but I think he is going to play. So just keep an eye out at game time. I think that's probably going to be a game time thing where they kind of decide to get one up over on their opponent. I believe they're playing the Bucks this week. So, oh yeah, he's not playing, and then he just pops in. It is what it is. NFL is ridiculous. Let's get into the bad side of the locker. This is rough. Jonathan Taylor, ankle, misses second straight practice. This is going to be a couple guys you can probably grab. One of them's already been shipped out, so it's getting slim back there. But that is not a good sign that this ankle injury is really lingering. It seems like this team's kind of like phoning it in with benching Matt Ryan. You know, it's rough.
Yeah,
Rashad Bateman. Yeah, right. Rashad Bateman. This one kills me. I don't know about you, Ryan, but this is one guy that I was really high on, and I was getting him super late, so I was all about just keeping him in the back. That being said, he has a foot injury and now is up for season-ending foot surgery, and that was confirmed today. So he is out for the remainder of the season.
He was on the Haynes all value pack preseason team, baby.
Dude,
He was a whiff, a little bit of a whiff.
Injuries will get you.
Absolutely.
If he just sucked, then I'd make fun of you. But the injury, I can't really say anything. J.K. Dobbins, let's stay with Baltimore. Knee injury, successful knee surgery. Everything went well. He is still a few weeks out from coming back. So if you want to keep him, let him just sit back there. It's rough. I'm so glad I have no shares of him. The one that made Jarvis Landry look good, Michael Thomas, he has a dislocated toe and needs surgery. So it's season ending, getting his toe put back in place, which is wild. That's got to not feel the best. But he is out. So
Yeah,
Jarvis
Landry, Olave continues to be an interesting piece. Landry, I think his stock climbs a little bit. I have him in a couple of dynasty leagues, deep bench, and I'm happy to have him, see what happens there. Dobbins, I don't know, man. Week 9, you think he's coming back week 13, 14? That just feels like a little bit of like I get like Cam Akers vibes from last year. They kind of forced him back into the season, into the playoffs, didn't really perform.
Right.
Even if he comes back, I just don't love him.
That's the problem. Yeah. Is he going to perform? Then he's going to be worried. I know after injuries in general, you're a little bit more timid. So I'm all set there.
Now they got Drake who's performing. They got Gus Edwards who's going to be back, in full capacity probably in a couple of weeks, unless his injury kind of lags or nags him. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of pieces. I don't even think
for a little bit.
Yeah,
he's still out there.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. This one was really mess with me. So I read earlier this morning, Derrick Henry was limited yesterday. Today, he was not at practice because of a foot injury. And then hours later, it comes out that he was not out because of injury today. He's out for some personal reason. And I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if you have any shares of him, but all ESPN, Yahoo, all sent a thing saying that he is playing. So I don't know what's up with that. It doesn't seem bad. I'm not worried about him not playing, so you should be good there. But that was a little nerve-wracking. Mark Andrews' shoulder, not a participant in practice again. This one's rough. This one's really rough.
They got the week 10 bye, dude. I don't know. I mean, they have the Monday night game. He had an extra day of rest. Man, I don't know. We'll see. It's a risky move. Monday night, knee injury, shoulder injury. They got the bye coming up. There's a really good chance they just sit him.
Oh, it's so bad. I would. It kind of San Fran did the same thing with Debo. Had the shoulder injury. They're like, all right, well, he's hurt this week. They would bye next week. Let's just sit him. Gets a lot of rest. So that's smart on their end. The last one for the hurt locker is Keenan Allen, hamstring. This is not good going forward. Did not practice today. He's listed as day to day. Mike Williams is already out. Like this wide receiving core is taking a real big hit.
Yeah, I saw today that Allen said that his hamstring is worse than it was before the bye.
Wow, that's some
So,
good insider news right there.
so he's probably not going to play this week, although he's still listed as questionable. He's still practicing at some capacity. But moving forward, I don't know, man. This season might be a wash for Keenan Allen, which really sucks.
Yeah, a little Carter action. Trying to think of the other
Yeah,
name.
Josh Palmer, DeAndre
Palmer.
Carter.
Yeah.
I don't love either of those guys, honestly. I rolled with Josh Palmer a few weeks at the beginning of the year. It did be okay, but he really started tapering off there.
It's rough. I think if Mike Williams and obviously Keenan Allen are both out, you can go grab Palmer and play him.
Is Gerald Everett still healthy?
Yep. Yeah, I haven't seen anything from him.
He would be the guy. If he's playing,
he's gonna be.
He's the guy.
He's a guy that I was pissed off I didn't grab early on in waivers.
Yeah.
All right, so that concludes the hurt locker. There's a lot of other injuries. A lot of them are kind of like, don't worry about them. Some of them are to lesser players. So just keep an eye out, and we'll try to keep you guys up to date on Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth. So just pay attention to those. Normally right now we do the tip and ain't easy. It's really just calls that we played last week. We've been doing good. DJ Moore, I think me and Mac both called him. It was amazing. You can keep playing him with PJ Walker. He was Mac has a couple notes on here because he was pumped about it. Wide receiver 5 from DJ Moore. I don't know, Ryan, if you expected that at all. That's some wild stuff right there.
No, but how about him taking off his helmet, dude, costing his team the win? Oh my God. Like, come on, man. How many touchdowns you score a year? 4, and that's gonna be one of them. Like, just composure, dude. Composure.
If I was that kicker, I would literally punt that dude. I was so mad.
Oh, and it like totally threw him off, man. He missed the overtime kick. Like, if that guy goes down a deep hole and then ends up getting cut, I'm blaming it on DJ Moore. That's for sure.
So I'm just going to use this time too. So last week I said to sit Daryl Henderson. Ryan, if there's something you want to mention after this, feel free, but we'll just move to the next segment. But Daryl Henderson, this is a little weird about this whole Cam Akers thing. So I said don't play Daryl Henderson last week. I was right. You got like 1.4 points. You're welcome. That being said, Cam Akers kind of stayed away from the team for 2 weeks. It wasn't listed as an injury. He is a full participant in practice today. Talking to Sean McVay afterwards, or this week after the trade deadline, and he said that they're going to try to get him back in on the roster and in the starting lineup. I'm thinking this backfield is just a shit show now, and I don't want anything to do with it. At this point in time, though, say you are in a deep league and you have Cam Akers and Daryl Henderson, and you can drop one. Which one do you think is going to be the real starter going forward?
Oh, I think I'm dropping. I would drop Akers if you had both of them right now, because Henderson's going to be the guy for the next 2 or 3 weeks or however long it takes, right? And when Akers comes back, you anticipate a shared backfield again. So I think cutting Akers, rolling with Henderson for a little bit is probably fine. Is he gonna put up 20, 25 points for you in a week? No. Is he gonna get double digits? Yeah, probably 10 points, 11 points, 12 points. That's probably more realistic.
Got it. All right. Anything in this segment, Ryan?
No. I mean, you guys have been hot with the calls. I said play Christian Kirk regardless of the matchup. He's been doing well against top defenses. He had the targets, 3 for 40, just couldn't crack double digits. And honestly, man, like when I said that, I just wanted him. Right now with these risque calls, they're risque. They're deep calls. We're not trying to give you the guys that you always play. We're trying to give you like an edge up over somebody else, or just a player that's going to put up double digits on a bye week with a shit ton of injuries. And that's what I thought Christian Kirk was going to give you. That ended up being Darnell Mooney. So one of those guys gave it to you. Yeah.
No, I hear you on that one. And that's what it is too. When we're talking about these tip and ain't easy segments or whatever, you got to take out the top 15 guys, top 10 guys. You're starting them no matter what when you have a bye week and you're scraping at the waiver wire or the bottom of your bench. We're just telling you some guys you can play.
Oh, wide receivers. We're talking about like third wide receiver 3s, wide receiver 4s. Like who's going to be your third flex or who's going to be your second flex? Who's going to be your third flex? Guys like that. So
And that's
It's
what all these teams are,
deep
all
balls.
these leagues are going to, right, Ryan? Like it's
Yeah.
pretty funny. Like I know in your league, I love it. No defense, just a kicker, and add an extra flex. It's the best. It really is fun, and it gets you to know a lot more people.
I'll
So
tell you what. Last week I said Mac Hollins. I did say if Devontae Adams doesn't play, and he ended up playing,
yes,
but Mac Hollins ended up getting double-digit points, dude. So
dude,
I was my boy
again,
Mac there. Yeah, I love
I
it.
love it. No, that's great stuff. You can't beat that. Speaking some players that we got to play. Mac's not here, guys. We're just throwing this all out there. So a little sexy flexy bye week fill in, bonus trade talk maybe at the end. Please let us know though, especially for these deeper leagues like we were just talking about. Send us your questions. Who you think you should throw in your flex? Throw us a couple of names. We'll definitely help you guys out. So definitely feel free. But let's get into the next one. I'll just throw up something because I want to. I just love that one because I made it.
It's great. It's the best ones.
So, anyways, guys, so this segment's a little different than normal. It's really hard for us to understand every taker's situation week to week. So we're just gonna throw a bunch of names out there, let you guys talk about, let us talk about them, throw some stuff at your way. So these names could either be bye week fill-ins, some guys to keep an eye on later on, or maybe someone to go target trade for or something like that. So before we get into it, it's going to be a rough week for buys. We got the New York Giants, Cleveland Browns, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Denver Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
This is nuts. I believe there's another bye week like this. I can't remember. I think it's like week 12 or something stupid like that. That there's just a abundant amount of teams out on bye.
It's insane.
I don't know why
I
they do
hate
this.
it.
Well, like, what's the point?
I mean, for the fantasy season, I guess I'd rather have it just like let's get them done with. I'd just get these things over with and let's move on. So I'm kind of okay with it. But when I went into one lineup this week, I got a whole bench of starters bye weeks. I have no players that I can roll in to the starting lineup. So if somebody gets hurt and I can't play him, I'm not dropping one of my starters so I can pick up a guy to fill in for the bye.
It's so rough.
Ugh,
so rough.
bad.
I love the ones are my favorite when you have like 4 bye weeks and the other 4 you're good. And then you look and they're all out and you're like, well, this is horrible. I get that in a couple leagues. That's rough. But let's get into the first category. We'll go QBs. We'll go by each position. Throw some names out there, guys. And then feel free to comment, throw some any more names at us that you think we should be talking about. So the first one this week, this guy is coming out of it seems nowhere, even though I loved him last year, and that's Justin Fields. As you said, Darnell Mooney has been kicking it up just a little bit lately, and it's been great to see. Thank goodness. A little late to the party. I had to drop you in like 8 leagues, but it's all right. But he's got Miami, Detroit, and Atlanta. Miami, that they're all right on defense. They're getting better. They obviously, I love Mac's little input here. They got a little chubby on reinforcements on the defense where they got Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb.
Yep. So good for them. But Miami, Detroit, and Atlanta, absolutely horrid. Atlanta, I think they might be 4th worst or 3rd worst versus the pass. So Justin Fields, it looks like a guy you can actually play. So these names that we're talking about, like I said, bye weeks, or you have a 2 flex league, dynasty 2 flex. These are the names you definitely want to go get, stash. Maybe somebody's worried about him playing Miami this week. You got Detroit and Atlanta the week after. So pay attention to that.
He's been a guy you could play for the last 3 weeks. Everybody's just kind of been scared. He's still only 65% rostered in Yahoo leagues. But right now he's doing everything you'd want him to do. 60 plus rushing yards a game. He's getting those rushing touchdowns. He's passing for 150 plus yards, touchdown or 2 in the air. Like that's what you want to see, man. 230, 240 total yards, 2-3 touchdowns. I mean, that's what he's putting up right now. He's the guy. I go and get him right now.
I wanted the Pats to get him, and this is why. I don't want to bring up Mac Jones.
Still not winning. He's still not winning games unless he plays the Patriots.
Yeah, of course.
That's it.
Ridiculous. Another name, Marcus Mariota. He's going to get his points. He has the dual threat, passing, running, playing the Chargers this week.
Yep.
They are going to be struggling on offense, but they're still going to score. So expect Atlanta to also do the same. Their secondary is beat up, the Chargers, that is. Next one I really want to talk about is Trevor Lawrence. He seems to be just like kind of like settling a little bit. I feel like he started off wicked hot and then just hit a wall and a half. As Mac would say, how do you hit a half a wall? Well, go fuck yourself. Anyways.
They're half walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, he's just too inconsistent, man. I don't know. I mean, he's got the Raiders. And what we've been saying all along is like you got a quarterback against the Raiders playing. Worked out Andy Dalton last week, Davis Mills the week before that. You're playing him this week. He's got KC next week, which isn't a great. They're not great against opposing quarterbacks. Baltimore, Detroit, Tennessee. He's got a pretty good schedule coming up the next 5 weeks. So you might see some more consistency, but still, I don't love it. Playoff time, he's got a tough schedule.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I'm not picking him up. But if you can throw him in there like this week, if you were in a tough bind, I'm playing it versus the Raiders. Put it this way: Russell Wilson has a bye week this week. Next week he has the Raiders. Scored 24 points versus the Raiders. It was the first and only time he had over 15 points in a fantasy game. So I'm gonna grab Russell Wilson for next week and play him versus the Raiders again.
Beautiful.
I'll get into the last one. Taylor Heineke playing Minnesota. You know, the past couple games opposing QBs have scored up to top 8 versus Minnesota. They've been that bad. I love this. I've been so high on Heineke.
Great.
I lost out on grabbing him in Dynasty. Somebody paid $30 or $35 for him. I was like, that's ridiculous. But it's also my first year doing Dynasty, so I don't know what's right. But Kurt, good.
If it's super flex, man, yeah, Taylor Heineke for sure. Anytime there's an available quarterback, I mean, Ellinger, I threw all my fab on him.
Did you?
And because this league has such a deep bench, there's never any quarterbacks. I'm like, if there's a chance that this guy is going to start next year, even the fact that he's starting the rest of this year, like I'm not finding another quarterback that's starting in this league. So you got to get them in Superflex, especially with bye weeks.
I hear you. I love Taylor Heineke in the fact that he has the helm now and Carson Wentz is on IR. I'm playing him. I love seeing him. I feel like he's like a little bit better of a Marcus Mariota. I feel like he's got he just puts up a little bit more points every week. I love it.
Yeah, Mariota's a good comp. He's almost like not as far as like style of play, but he's like, Fitz Magic. The guy you're like, he's not going to win his team a game. Maybe he'll squeeze out games that he shouldn't win.
Yeah,
but he's going to put up some fantasy points for you. But he also has a good chance of putting up like 3 points for you too. He's one of those guys.
Yeah, the thing is, he just never quits. We saw this. I think was it last year versus Tampa Bay. Like he never quits. And the thing is, when a QB doesn't quit and they're losing, garbage time points are amazing. So even if he's playing somebody difficult, it's a good guy to get. Yeah, it just makes his floor rise. That's enough talking about crappy wide quarterbacks. Let's get into some running backs. Deion Jackson, we just heard the news. Well, Jonathan Taylor did not practice today. This guy is the next one up. Now, please let me tell you that I'm not going to play him versus the Patriots, the 4th best rush defense. They might have to give him the ball a shitload, so there's a possibility he just has luck getting in the end zone at least once if Jonathan Taylor doesn't play. But this is definitely a stash play. Obviously, if you have Jonathan Taylor, you needed him. If you don't have them, you're an idiot because it's rough. I picked him up today, surprisingly, in one league. But if you even need a running back, go get him. He could be the starter there, and they're not going to be playing the Patriots every week. So
I'm definitely picking him up, and I'm definitely starting him. His usage in the passing game, his last start, and the amount of points he put up. You gotta believe that he's going to be involved. He's going to get 4, 5, 6 targets. Probably going to get maybe a handful of catches, which would be fantastic. And I don't know how he's going to do on the ground, but this week you're playing him 100%.
All right, all right.
100%.
Yeah, I guess if he's working in the past, in my head, I'm looking at my note. Haynes is gone. That work is now his. So either way, he's
Yeah.
going to be getting some passes. So a
And
great call.
look at the running backs you have on bye. This Barkley, Chubb, Pollard, Elliott, McCaffrey,
Oh,
Harris. Like you got
good
all the
call.
running backs gone this week. You're gonna have to play them.
I like it. I like that. Let's keep it moving. Kenyon Drake. I said this one earlier. If Gus Edwards out, obviously J.K. Dobbins is out. He's a borderline RB2 with a little bit of upside, maybe like top 12 upside every week. It's a high-powered offense. The guy can really step it up. We've seen him just have some great runs. He scored 16 fantasy points in 2 of the last 3 games. I believe Gus Edwards played in one of those, so that's probably why. So the guy's been killing it. Go get him if he's out there, especially while Gus Edwards is out. And then this one right here is more of a stash. Jalen Warren for Pittsburgh. Najee Harris, awesome player. Not playing up to his potential this year. I think it's just kind of like the team itself in general. If he has any sort of injury or whatever, I can picture the team absolutely just putting him on ice, Najee Harris, that is not hurting your future or the future running back of that team for a while. They're going to build around him. He's that good, I think. So Jalen Warren, he's been getting extra work every single week. If you can go grab him, stash him, especially if you have Najee Harris, just throw him in the back. And I believe, are they on bye? They're on bye this week. There's a possibility he probably gets dropped for somebody else trying to get a fill in.
I'm fine with handcuffing Harris. I'm not picking in redraft leagues. I'm not picking up Jalen Warren right now because, you could say that thing about so many backup running backs. You could stash them, keep them on your roster. Samaje Perine, AJ Dillon right now is probably on the waiver wire, and some of these other running backs that are out there. So if you have their starter, you can handcuff, but that's the only way I'm adding Jalen Warren right now.
Perfectly acceptable. I like it. All right, let's move to wide receivers. I've got quite a few of them here. This one's real quick. Garrett Wilson for the Jets. Corey Davis did not practice again today. So, like I said, I think I mentioned it last week, go play Garrett Wilson. Or maybe somebody asked me. I was like, you should definitely play Garrett Wilson because there's no one else that Wilson's going to throw to. So he's going to be the guy. We all know how the Elijah Moore thing's going. So he get grabbed.
Every time a receiver plays Buffalo, it just gives me anxiety entering them into my lineup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you on that one. Like we said,
I like it.
Flex stuff. If you can play, if you have to play him, feel better about him than somebody else possibly. And obviously, moving forward, if Corey Davis is out, this guy could be a stud moving forward.
Absolutely, for sure. Yep.
So next one, we got Allen Robinson, about 60% owned still. A lot of drops, but the whole thing about Kupp, if that ankle injury is worse than we think, or if he re-aggravates it, this could be a guy. I don't know if you want to play him versus Tampa this week. I might, just in case Kupp's limited. You might get some info before the game. He might be a good second flex or a regular flex in general. But because they need to throw it to somebody, Kupp's limited. He might be getting a couple extra targets. That couple extra targets could be 40 yards. That's whoa. All right. Looks like I'm getting an update from ESPN. Take it easy. Mac never does this.
No, never.
Idiot. All right. But either way, Allen Robinson could be a stash, could be a guy you just plug in this week. I think I'm down. If there's any word at all that Kupp's a little bit limited or whatever, I'm down to play him.
Yeah, for sure. If Stafford's out, if Kupp's out or limited, I think Robinson's a good play this week. But with that said, I think the Rams have to win. They cannot afford to lose any more games. If Kupp even has a remote chance of playing, they're going to play him.
He's in there.
And I'm not. If he's playing, just to be clear, takers, you are playing Cooper Kupp. Even if he's limited, he's still probably going to put up 12, 13, 14 points for you. So, Yep.
Great call. He's still going to be top 15 instead of top 1. Top 2.
Exactly. Yep.
A couple more here. Devin Duvernay from Baltimore. This one I kind of just threw in there. He's only 29% owned. Probably a lot more now after Bateman was announced out for the rest of the season. He's going to be the wide receiver 1, I believe, in Baltimore. Mark Andrews is out as well. They got a couple other guys over there, including Deshaun Jackson, that will possibly be elevated today or tomorrow, which is wild. So expect a great one game, possibly on Christmas if he plays. So wild.
Yeah, right.
I'm staying away from Jackson, but it's just something funny to bring up. But Devin Duvernay, I'm down to grab him. It probably a stash. Wait till you see something come up, but I think this could be something. One of those late in the season guys that does all right for you. I compare him to probably like oh my god, wide receiver slot for the Patriots.
Like Edelman, Walker,
No, who do they have
Jacoby
now?
Myers.
Jacoby Myers.
There you go.
I can picture it as something like that. A guy that's going to get you a couple points, probably not a touchdown, but he's going to be great for you in PPR. Wow, that's bad that I couldn't think of that.
All of those guys are slot receivers for the Patriots.
I know that,
just
but I feel like the other guys are a little bit more shifty compared to Myers, so I feel like he's not going to be like that. Anyways, you jerk. Josh Palmer. We already talked about him a little bit. I won't get too much into it, but he could be a guy that you could sit on your bench or play, whatever. Williams is out. Allen could be out. Think about it. Rondell Moore, though, is the next one I want to talk about for Arizona. The slots begin 8 to 10 targets on the Arizona offense. He's been doing pretty well. I'm pretty excited about him if he stays in the slot. That's the thing. They just grabbed – what they grab from? Robinson. No, Robbie Anderson. I'm sorry. Or Rob Anderson. Is that what he calls himself now? Something like that.
I didn't hear that.
He legally changed his name. It is what
worse.
It is. Exactly. But yeah, they got Robbie Anderson, so I'm curious on where he's going to line up in this offense. I know he's been there for a couple of weeks, but I haven't really heard anything from him. It's been the D-Hop show with that one-handed grab last week, which was amazing. Pretty sure that was last week.
D-Hop, man,
Dude.
he is.
Oh my God.
He's back. The way he looks right now, I'm like, man, in a 2-3 year window, D-Hop still might be relevant. It's like, it's very tempting to try to go out there and trade for him because everyone looks at his age and they're like, all right, I'll take whatever I can get for D-Hop.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's not.
So that guy.
Yeah, he's still going to be that guy next year too. I really believe that.
Yeah, Murray he leans on him so bad. So bad. But
Absolutely.
I'm picturing Rondell Moore to be kind of like a Christian Kirk from last year, getting you those good PPR points. We know that the Christian Kirk position did so well last year. He finished well because of that giant contract he got in general from the Jags. So it's worth something. Maybe stashing him. I grabbed him in like 2 leagues. Surprisingly, he was still there, so I got pretty excited about that. The 2 last ones are really nothing crazy. Evan Ingram for tight end position. Evan Ingram, like I said, oh my God, Trevor Lawrence. He's just been. I feel like he's calming down. Evan Ingram has been his relief valve, especially in the red zone. Last week was exciting in general. In PPR points wise, Evan Ingram scored double digits in 3 of the last 4 games. In that one game that he didn't get double digits, he got 9. So the past 4 weeks have been absolutely perfect plays that you want from a guy you got off waivers, most likely. So Evan Ingram going forward, I'm okay with throwing him in there. Obviously, he's in the back of the bus. I'm going to play my normal guys. A lot of these guys in general, you're going to play your top guys. These guys are just fill-ins or whatever. But Evan Ingram could definitely be a guy going forward. And Trevor Lawrence, I think he needs a relief valve, and this guy could be it.
Where Evan Ingram, honestly, at the tight end position, has probably got to be at the top, like the top 8, right?
I think he's 9.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah. And he sucked at the beginning of the year, and we always say the top 8 are okay plays to play for tight ends, and he's going to be in the top 8 within the next week or so, I would think.
Yeah, PPR right now, Taysom Hill was the 5th tight end. Tyler Conklin is 6th. What is it? I don't know. That position is just
dude.
TJ Hockenson is 4. He had that one crazy week, and he's tight end 4 this year.
But 42 points. That will do it. Because the next week he had 0. The week after that he had 1. That kills me. We know that the tight end position is horrible. And the last one, guys, for defense. This is just I'm throwing it out there. It's their bye week. Dallas is on a bye. I found him in one league last week. I think somebody was just dropping him prematurely because they knew they were on bye. They're the number one ranked in fantasy.
Mm.
Go see if you can go snag them in general. Somebody you can just, especially going forward and later on into the season, it's always good to cover your ass. I definitely, you never want to carry two kickers. You never want to carry two defenses. But when you get closer to the playoffs and say you can get two stud defenses, I'm down for that. Right now, I have one league where I have Tampa in the Eagles. I will definitely be keeping both of them and kind of just throwing them in there. Most likely, I'm just not going to bench the Eagles. But either way, definitely when you get later on in the season, it's always good to, grab something. Definitely pay attention at the end of this segment. Pay attention to those guys dropped on their bye weeks. Ryan mentioned a bunch of running backs. Obviously, none of those guys will be dropped, but there's others.
Yeah.
And people are dumb sometimes.
That is true. And that Eagles defense is letting me down. I got one league that still has the defense position left. I have the Eagles against the Texans, and it's 14-14 at half.
No.
Damn it.
Who are they even throwing to?
But I don't know. Nico Collins, maybe? Or
no, Nico's not playing. Brandon Cooks isn't playing.
Pierce having a decent game.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Who was the guy who used to play for the 49ers? Pettis. He's in there, right? With the
is he on
with the Texans? I don't know. Move on and I'll look it up right now.
Oh, that's crazy. That's one thing I did want to mention though. So we're our next segment, guys, is just gonna be I'm just gonna throw out a couple names. I don't even have a drop for it. I wish I did, but it's just talking about some guys to trade for, trade away. Me and Ryan are just gonna bicker at each other and talk about guys that we're pissed off about or something possibly. But just some names I'm gonna throw out there. But I was really thrown off by this Cooks thing, about this trade deadline, Brandon Cooks on Houston. So he got pissed off. He's been on several teams. He wanted to be traded to a Super Bowl contender. I don't blame him, but as a team too that's rebuilding, they don't really care what you think or what you want. And they did not trade him. He's still on the team, and he's having a hissy fit. And he's not playing today because he's just mad. And
I would feel the same way.
I'm just nervous about playing him going forward. This is a tough one. So what I do want to say, Yahoo, you'll be able to do it still. Maybe your league's a little different, but Nico Collins did not play today. He was out. A lot of people might have dropped him. I think he is definitely a go grab and stash going forward if Brandon Cooks doesn't play for them again this year. It's a possibility he just doesn't play.
Yeah, I think that's a great call. And if I spend as much time as Brandon Cooks has in Houston, then I would feel the same. Like I got limited time left in the NFL. I don't want to spend it with you guys anymore. I did all that I could for you. Just trade me, and they couldn't even do it. Rude. And I was mixing up. Pettis is on the Bears.
Yeah.
Philip Dorsett is the dude who two catches, 42 yards. Ex-Pat, baby.
Dude, that popped up today. You got to be kidding me.
And Chris Moore has a receiving touchdown for him. So yeah, it's interesting, very interesting.
I'd say, well, if they keep scoring, the Eagles will keep scoring, so I'm okay with that. We got Hurts in a lot of leagues.
That's
and AJ Brown.
Yep. All right, so players to trade for. Who you got?
So trade for. There's a couple of them. These are kind of like maybe like buy low or whatever. Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's been on the downhill slope the past couple weeks. He had a couple weeks where he was hurt with concussion or just slow weeks. I think you can probably get him really low for something minuscule compared to what it was after week like 5, 6, where he was killing it.
Good point.
Gabe Davis, he's been struggling in general. I read a little article on him today, and it makes sense to go trade for somebody like Gabe Davis because he's not the best player week to week, but he is that guy who will just have one of those boom games, and that could win you a playoff game in general, maybe a championship. There's no better feeling, I think, than having a single player just win it for you. I remember having Alvin Kamara, what was that, 2 years ago in this Christmas game or whatever, scored like 6 touchdowns. I was like, well, that was easy. I get to enjoy Christmas now. It was amazing. So not that he's ever going to do anything like that, Gabe Davis. It's just somebody you could probably buy pretty low on because he's been very mediocre at best on a high-powered offense. We saw what Gabe Davis did in the playoffs last week, and at the end of the season, he was an absolute stud. There's a possibility they could turn it on a little bit more going forward.
I mean, yeah, he showed you what he can do with 3 touchdown performances, 200 yards, whatever he did a couple of weeks. What was it, like 172 yards and 3 touchdowns?
177 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 3 catches.
Yeah, 3 for 4, 177. That was the week I said play him. He's going to have a boom game, and he literally blew through the roof.
Been saying all along the dude's going to get 3 catches a game, and you just got to hope that one of them's an 80-yard touchdown. And I guess there's a pretty good chance of that happening. So, but I like it. I like where your head's at. Absolutely. He's like Tyler Lockett, basically better version.
I like that. Another one is George Pickens. A lot of, he's obviously on every team, but Pittsburgh just got rid of Chase Claypool. Not that Chase Claypool was the wide receiver too, but now it's confirmed, or going forward, George Pickens is the solid wide receiver 2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has a great rapport with Pickett, and I'm excited to see this going forward. If they have a good game this week, you probably won't be able to get him, but if you can get him before Sunday, why not? Take a shot. Might be a guy that is going up far more than he already is. So I think that one's going to be a little bit expensive, but still awesome.
Love it.
And then this one, if you can get, I'm talking dirt. Like, I'm like, hey, do you want Miami's defense? Give me Keenan Allen. The Keenan Allen, so we already talked about it. I'm very nervous about him. It's a hamstring injury for a wide receiver that is lingering. Ryan already brought up a great point that he came out and said that the injuries feels worse than it did before the bye. That's horrible news. But the thing is, if you have the bench space, especially, and some other guys just trying to get to the playoffs or whatever, snag them, put them on the back of your bench. Hopefully they let them rest, and then you got a PPR machine going into the playoffs. Maybe. Something you could take a shot on. This is one that it has to be the perfect storm type of thing.
Keenan's giving me T.Y. Hilton vibes.
Oh, don't say that.
At the end of his career, man. It's right around the same age, too. 30, 31. I don't know.
That's us.
Happened quick. Yeah, we're old as shit. It happened quick. It happened quick.
So I think you added this one, Ryan. Is Jeff Wilson?
Yes. Jeff Wilson. You can't trust most hurt. You cannot trust most hurt. Chase Edmonds is not there. It's Jeff Wilson. It's Myles Gaskin behind him. If Mostert goes down, Jeff Wilson's the guy. Immediately skyrockets. So, yeah, I would go trade for him right now, especially if you have Mostert.
Ooh. So I only have him in a dynasty league. Do you think I should keep him or sell him? Jeff Wilson, that is.
Keep him. Because listen, if Mostert goes down, and Mostert almost always goes down, right?
Hence his nickname.
Then Jeff Wilson, it could be one of those guys that you could just play every single week through the playoffs. Like I think offense. For what you have to trade to get him is basically nothing. Like you might be able to trade Chase Claypool right now and get Jeff Wilson. Or I would even consider trading maybe not Darnell Mooney. That seems a little high, but maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks. Trade Brandon Cooks for Jeff Wilson right now.
Ooh. All right. I think that might be still steep too if he plays, but at the same time,
if he plays, of course, yeah.
You mentioned trade, and I'm just gonna throw a little button in this conversation real quick. A friend of mine right before this podcast, he emailed me. He had a little confrontation with his commish. So somebody just traded Hilton Oh, I'm sorry, Tyreek Hill. We just said Hill. Tyreek Hill for Terry McLaurin, Chase Claypool, and Pittsburgh's defense.
Oh.
Do you? Yeah, except the commissioner pushed it through because I don't think it passed. Do you think that's a shit? I like.
Oh
Is that
no,
bullshit?
if you have league veto and it was vetoed, you have to follow through with that.
Right.
Then there's no point of having a veto. It's completely pointless. And now if he vetoes a trade in the future, oh man, that league's over.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
yeah.
jeez. Yeah, I saw.
You can't ruin league integrity. You can't mess with it. Like whatever your rules are, you just got to follow through with them.
So this guy, the Tyreek Hill owner, is the highest scorer in the league already,
Yeah.
and he's getting Tyreek Hill.
That seems suspicious. It seems suspicious.
All right.
But
I'm just,
people do get hyped when players get traded. So I'm not
Chase
surprised.
Claypool.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some Chase Claypool hype, but I don't know why.
I said it. I told him it was bullshit, and then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna have a word with the commissioner." I was like, "Do it up!" I got all
Nice.
excited. All right, let's keep moving though. Is this another one you added too, Chris Godwin, or did I?
No, I think that was our boy just adding in notes on his wedding.
Oh, he
eve.
added notes. I think I did add Chris Godwin.
Oh, okay.
Now that I'm thinking about it, and that was really just based on not putting out as much as he should. I see him going into this season. If he wasn't hurt or coming off an injury, I would have had him as a top 8 wide receiver in fantasy, top 10, top 8. I just see that production, and the thing is mostly just the PPR. The guy is an absolute stud, averaging 6.5 receptions per game.
Yep.
In the past 5. That's amazing. And he's Brady's favorite target. And Brady has been struggling. And when somebody's struggling, what do? They go to their favorite target. They go to their relief valve. That's Chris Godwin. You might be able to get him on the low as of right now. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get him for a steal, but if you're looking for a PPR machine later on, might be a great time to buy before it starts. I only can expect Tom Brady to kick it up a notch a little bit,
Yeah, he has Chris Godwin's a perfect trade target. He's got all the signs that his volume is going nowhere but up. It's stabilizing double-digit targets. I mean, if you can snag him, because I think this offense is going to click at some point. But even if it doesn't, he's still putting up double digits consistently for you. So.
All right, so let's get into players to trade away. Is that all right?
Sure. I don't agree with the first one.
So that's why I put a question mark. So I want to get your opinion. So I've been saying it for the past couple of weeks. I'm worried about Nick Chubb in his remaining schedule. He is playing a lot of great rush defenses, but he has been absolutely killing it lately. Do you think anything will change once they get their quarterback? And Watson, obviously.
I don't think so. Watson's going to need time, man. He's not coming back to week 13. It's not like he's coming in, throwing 55 times, totally nullifying Nick Chubb. I think if anything, there's a possibility they have a few more red zone opportunities, although we don't know what Deshaun Watson's going to look like when he comes back. It's going to be run heavy. They're going to ease Watson back into it. They're going to be out of playoff contention. They're just going to want to get him some work so he can prep himself for next year, and that's it. So I think Nick Chubb is going to be just fine. He's got Buffalo and Tampa Bay coming up, week 11, week 12. After that, it's not bad. He's got Houston, week 13, Cincy, and then his playoff schedule, Baltimore, New Orleans, Washington. That's fine.
Not bad.
Chubb's going to be fine. Keep Chubb.
All right. Keep Chubb. Or if you can get him, that'd be amazing.
Great for him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. We're hitting 50 minutes or so already.
Yeah, keep going.
We'll just run through a couple more right here. Nyheim Hines, he got traded. I don't think to a better situation in Buffalo. I don't know how he's going to be used. You can either wait a week or two and see what his usage is going to be, or you just trade him and hope somebody's hyped on Buffalo. Like Ryan was saying, people do get hyped when a player gets traded. Khalil Herbert is the one I want to talk about, and the guy, he's been getting more and more work every week. I think he is the better running back in this offense, but the thing is, David Montgomery is getting his carries. So you're never really going to have a full, RB1 on this team unless somebody gets hurt. And I never want to have to wait for that. So if I can trade Khalil Herbert maybe to the Montgomery owner or to somebody that just sees him as like the better running back, because that's what's been happening of late, I might toss him out there. Because most likely you grabbed him, especially if you don't have Montgomery, you drafted him for a trade piece, most likely. I know that's what I did. Melvin Gordon, that's what I did. Yet Melvin Gordon's number one, so I keep him. That's just what happens.
Christian Kirk. Right now, Christian Kirk, we just named the schedule that the Jaguars have coming up. They've had some really, really tough matchups against really good defenses the last few weeks. Christian Kirk, I would trade Nyheim Hines for him. I would trade Khalil Herbert for him in PPR
like that a
formats
lot.
for sure. Yeah.
Whew, I'm going to send out a couple of those today because I love that guy. So that's awesome. Another one we already talked about that you already did was TJ Hockenson. People love the hype. They love to see players move, like you said. You already moved him. I love it. So, and he wasn't doing that much beforehand other than 1 week. So let's see what you can get for him. And people love tight ends. People are always looking for tight ends. They will trade up for tight ends. This is a league that I might be getting rid of Mark Andrews. I'm just worried about the injury. I got Tyler Higbee on my bench. Absolutely fine with that.
Depends on what you get. So don't sell them off cheap.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah. And this looks like a question from Mac. Is he just throwing notes in here while he's on his pre-honeymoon?
Yeah, he is.
Mac in a win or bust scenario for a dynasty and has Travis Kelce. Does he trade him?
No, you ride and die. Ride or die. Why? You're not going to trade Kelce. You're not. And I was the one that traded Kelce to him like 3 years ago. It was a bad move. I was reading the decline too early, clearly. But no. You at this point, ride or die with Kelce.
I like it. I think you have to, and I think you'll never get what you want for Travis Kelce. So there's honestly no point. You might be if you get some crazy trade, get like a young tight end and a couple firsts or something stupid. Then obviously go for it, but you won't get what you want. So just go for it.
No, if you're in a win now position, you do this to win.
You play
if you
to
have
win
Travis
the game.
Kelce and you're competing, you don't trade Travis Kelce. He's going to put you over the top. He's going to win you the championship. You're going to bring home money. Like that's what this is about. So
I like it.
Come on, Mac.
What an idiot. Righty. Well, I think we did pretty good without Disfatt-Bidge. Mac, that is.
Better.
And yeah, it was great. We have voices of goddesses. That guy, not so much. Nails on a chalkboard.
Goddesses? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know if we want to have the voices like the god. I don't think.
Hey, just saying, people listen to goddesses. People are scared of gods, and
my daughter did pick up the phone the other day and called me Meme, so that was a little concerning. So maybe I do have the voice of a goddess.
We got to get sponsored by that testosterone tea or whatever it is.
That's it.
Got to get in there. So, anything else to go over? Anything? Any other players? Or anything else?
No, man. No. Leftovers.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I wrote a little thing. I don't know if you had anything else, but I think I can speak for me and the Tagless Ryan Haynes that we just want to congratulate Mac and obviously his bride. We won't throw names out so you guys aren't DMing her and stuff. But anyways, we're just excited for both of them. Obviously, me and Ryan will be by Mac's side tomorrow, which we couldn't be happier about. So good luck to them and their future. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you ever want us to kick Mac off for a week, don't worry about it. We're fine with saying it. So let us know. And,
we got it. One question for the takers. When you're in a wedding party, hands in the front, hands in the back. Oh. That was a question that was brought up last night at the rehearsal. So you tell us what's right.
You know what's not right? The fact that I don't know the outro music. So I'm just going to play the intro music again because I love it.
Cool. Let's do it. Good night.
Hate this guy. All right. Night takers. Thank you. Have a great weekend and good luck. We'll talk to you soon.